Good morning, y'all, and welcome back. Thanks for joining me. Today's video is all about the things you should consider upgrading or buying to enhance your experience. But before we talk about the things you should buy, I'll talk you the reason why we're making this video. A few weeks ago, I put out a video about all the things you should not buy, things you shouldn't waste your money on until you figure out how you want to use your RV and the experience you're looking for. Well, in that video, I told you a bunch of products that I bought myself and I wasted money on because I didn't realize how I was going to use my RV. Now, all those products are good, and if they enhance your experience, they're great things to do. Many of you have asked, what are some of the things that we have bought or upgraded to enhance the experience that we're having? We're a family of 5, and we travel and live full-time in the RV. And we mostly spend all of our time in RV parks, campgrounds, or resorts. We occasionally boondock, but boondocking to us is having some water in the tanks, we have the generator running, and we're spending the night in a truck stop or a rest area just between one resort or another. This is all the things that we bought or upgraded on our RV right here to enhance our experience. The first thing and the most important thing, if you're gonna spend any time in an RV, is your RV mattress. That stock mattress has to go. And we actually replaced our stock mattress with one from RVmattress.com by Brooklyn Beddings day one. Thank you to RVmattress.com for your continued support of this channel. We recently added a new addition to our family, and we knew we had to make some changes as far as sleeping arrangements go in our RV. Now, it came time to look for mattresses. We knew we wanted to go with RVmattress.com by Brooklyn Bedding because we have the signature hybrid in our master bedroom for 18 months now. It's actually the RV King. Now, when Brooklyn Bedding reached out to us and said they wanted to partner with us, it was a no-brainer because we knew the quality and the comfort that their beds provided. We told them we would like a queen-size bed, 2 of them, one for the top bunk and one for the bottom bunk, so we'd have matching beds in the toy hauler section of our RV. Well, RVmattress.com is a Brooklyn Bedding brand known for top-of-the-line comfort and quality, plus their mattresses are made right here in the US and shipped conveniently to you for free. They offer different firmness options, heights, and dimensions, even RV-specific and non-traditional sizes to fit right into your lifestyle. When we were searching for an RV mattress, we actually just needed to fit a certain size. We wanted it to be a queen, but it couldn't be very tall because of the Happy Jack bed system. So we chose the 8-inch model because it allows the Happy Jack bed system to work just fine when picking the beds up into the storage position. They sent us the Dreamfoam Essential Memory Foam in the 8-inch model. Now, we've had our RV mattress in our master bed for 18 months now, and we love it because it is super comfortable and it fits into our RV king size area. If it makes you nervous to buy something that you haven't tried, Brooklyn Bedding has a 120-night sleep trial, so you get more than 3 months to make sure that you love it. If you don't, you'll get a full refund. RVmattress.com delivers your mattresses right to your door for free within the US. Plus, it comes rolled up in a box and it's super easy to set up yourself. The best part about all this is that Brooklyn Bedding manufactures their RV mattresses in their own factory in Arizona. That means they're able to use premium materials at a reasonable price for you with no middleman to bring up the cost. We love our RV mattress by Brooklyn Bedding, and I think you would too. If you're looking for a new bed, check out RVmattress.com. You can click the link below or go to RVmattress.com/PavingNewPaths and get 20% off your mattress with the code PavingNewPaths. Thank you to RVmattress.com for sponsoring this episode. I know what you're saying. You're sponsored by them. Of course you're going to say nice things about their products, but hear me out. So we actually purchased and owned for 1 year the mattress from them that's in our master bed, and we love it. We were actually getting ready to purchase 2 more for the girls' room back here in the toy hauler. They reached out to us and wanted to partner with us, and they provided the 2 mattresses, and we couldn't be happier. Now, if you're going to spend any time in an RV, I suggest you upgrade your mattresses because that is a big deal. You want to enjoy your sleep. So the next big upgrade we did to our RV is actually up here on the front. And it really wasn't an upgrade, as more of a have to fix problem. We have a Gen Y executive pin box. We needed it for 2 reasons. Well, one reason was the major reason. So we were having bed rail clearance issues between our truck and the 5th wheel plate. And ours originally came with the stock Lippert Rotoflex, which when paired with these big drop frame campers and a 2017 or newer Ford, Chevrolet, or Dodge, there will be some potential issues with bed rail clearance in certain situations. Now, we towed for almost 4,000 miles before it became a problem, but when we got out west up in Colorado and Utah and Wyoming, it was almost every single campground we left. We started getting really, like, we actually hit once. We hit once right here, and there was nothing we can do about it, but we managed it all the way back home until we were able to get this guy right here. So if you're going to spend any time towing or traveling full-time on the road, we suggest you consider upgrading your pin box. Now we have the Gen Y, and it's awesome because it has a suspension system. There's also others out there, like Lippert has the Rotoflex, which was the stock one we had, which did really well as far as the chucking and the cushioning. It just did not provide enough clearance between this and this. The MORryde has one as well. It's a great product, and it actually, if ours would have came with the MORryde, we never would have had the clearance issues, because there's about 2 inches difference between where this plate right here on the Lippert and the MORryde are in relation to this right here. There's also several other options. They have the Reese Goose Box, which is an awesome one if you want to have your bed free and no fifth wheel plate. You can just go straight to the gooseneck ball. Gen Y also makes a gooseneck version of this, to where you can remove your fifth wheel plate and hook this straight to the ball. If you don't want to go to gooseneck, Lippert has an awesome one called the Lippert Trail Air, or the Airflex. It is basically, whoa, it's that right there. This guy has one. So it's basically a pin box with a shock absorber and an airbag, and you can air it up based on your weight, and it will cushion. Now we love this one, but if you're going to spend any time towing, we suggest you upgrade your pin box for a better towing experience. So I just talked about the pin box for the fifth wheels. Well, if you have a travel trailer, there's options for you too. We actually don't, so I don't know much about them, but I do know they offer several weight distribution hitches as well as sway control hitches. And I've even seen that Gen Y has something like this with the torsion system that'll hook in to your receiver on your truck. So not only would you have a suspension, you could also pair it up with a good sway control or a weight distribution hitch, and you would have some sort of cushioning device in there. All right, so the next thing that we upgraded coincides with that pin box right there. It's this truck. We actually upgraded this truck and we added airbags and new shocks. Now the airbags we originally added were the 5,000 pound ones, and we found that it was taking too much pressure in the airbags to manage this load. So we upgraded recently to the 7,500 pound bags, and I'm telling you right now, it's a night and day difference. We also upgraded to the Bilstein shocks. Now what I'm gonna say is, if you're gonna travel full time and tow a heavy RV, I suggest you upgrade your truck with the airbags and the shocks, because not only does it make it better when towing, this truck right here now rides amazing when we're unloaded. And any of you guys that know what a dually drives when it's unloaded, you know it can be pretty rough. Right now, we're actually running around with about 30 PSI in the bags unloaded, and it rides like a dream. So the next thing that we upgraded on this trailer right here has to do with ride as well, and it is the suspension on the RV. I know in the last video I told you not to upgrade your suspension until you understand what you're gonna do. Well, I was willing to spend $8,000 on independent suspension because I thought I needed it, and I was gonna do that before I even towed this guy right here 1 mile. Instead, we chose to upgrade what we already had to make it the most of the system we had. Ours came with the EcoFlex equalizers by Lippert. Now I know most travel trailers nowadays are coming with some sort of upgraded equalizer, but if yours did not come with one, I suggest at the very minimum you get an upgraded equalizer. They make them by Lippert and by MORryde, and they're all really great. It'll definitely enhance your towing experience and the travel characteristics of this trailer. Now the next thing we did is we swapped out to the MORryde heavy duty shackles and wet bolt kit. Now the stock shackles look great until you see how big the heavy duty ones are, and then you can't believe you ever towed with them. And the good thing about the wet bolt kit is it comes with brass bushings that you can also grease. So now every pivot point is going to have an upgraded bushing and a grease point. If you want to take it one step further, we installed these MORryde X Factor cross members, which tie in the equalizer and the hanger joints from side to side on the frame. We were able to enhance our suspension for a fraction of the cost. So we installed the equalizer, the wet bolt kit and the shackles, and the cross members. That cost us about $500 to $600 as opposed to $8,000. If you're gonna travel full time and often, I suggest you do some sort of enhancements to your stock suspension on your trailer. It'll greatly improve your travel, and it'll actually reduce some of the shaking that this thing has, so you won't have as many things to fix on your first couple trips, because we all know the first couple trips out, you're gonna find all kinds of things inside that have moved and shaken apart and need attention. The next thing we bought to enhance our experience was more of a protection device than anything. It was an onboard surge protector. And we've actually had it save us twice. Once we had the power surging so bad that it was going crazy out here, and like the voltage at the pedestal was dropping so much that the surge protector literally killed the power coming in the coach and protected our RV. And recently we had one where we hooked up and it had open neutral and it would not let power go to the coach at all. They make several of these. We actually have a Progressive Industries that's hardwired inside the RV on the back side of this plug. So it goes inside, it's wired in, it's all self-contained. They make several that you can actually buy and plug in out here. It doesn't matter which one you get. We suggest if you're going to be RVing, you get some sort of device to help protect your RV and your investment from poor power situations. The next thing that we upgraded actually took us almost a year before we upgraded to. It's water filters. So we were like all you guys. I used to carry a whole stack of those blue Camco ones that you can buy at Walmart or online or any store really, and you hook them in line at the spigot right here. We also have an onboard one that came from our manufacturer that's right here inside this wet bay. But those just weren't holding up, and they were having to be changed like every 30 days. Sometimes every 10 or 15 days if you're down in Florida, because you guys know how that water is sometimes down there. We actually upgraded to this right here. This is a Blue Technology 3-stage water filter, and we actually love it. We now go from changing our water filters every month to every 4 months. So basically we change this 3 times a year. And you can tell when it's time because the water pressure significantly starts decreasing inside the coach, just like with the one on the spigot and the one inside. Now we love this thing, and if you're interested in trying this, we actually have a discount program. Check the link in the description below. You can save yourself 15%. If you're gonna travel and live in your camper full time, we suggest you get some sort of aftermarket water filtering system because it does make a difference. The Camcos, they go on the spigot, and the stock one are only rated to, that one's 5 micron, that one's 20. This is 0.2. There is a significant difference in the quality of water when we went from our stock filters to the upgraded one. And there's several of those out there, but we love this one from Blue Technology. Ours came with this, but if you don't have this, you should consider upgrading it. And that's these Max Air vents in the ceilings. So we have one in both of our bathrooms and in our kitchen. And what's cool about these is they go hand in hand with another device that we upgraded to at the same time, a dehumidifier. That's right, we have to run a dehumidifier in this RV to maintain the moisture content. But the dehumidifier doesn't do it alone. These guys right here help it. And if yours doesn't have one of these, I suggest you look into getting them because it's an automatic fan that you can open up and help vent this RV. Now, any of y'all that cook a lot in RV know that this right here is truly helpful when you go to cooking. For us, anytime we turn it on to start cooking, this smoke detector right here goes crazy. So now, as soon as we start cooking, we flip open these vents and help circulate the air out of the RV. When you're showering, this right here really helps get the moisture out of the air when you're done showering. Whenever our camper starts to feel a little wet, we'll open these guys up right here and get the air flowing out, and then we'll turn on our dehumidifier. So they work hand in hand. We bought the covers up there, so we have these smoke vent covers that are over these. Now, a lot of people say you shouldn't get those, you won't use them, but we found that whenever it's raining outside, the rain will actually automatically close this vent. Well, the cover allows it to stay open in the rain. And usually when it's raining outside, we're stuck inside this RV. So the air gets a little stale. So we like to leave these guys open, all 3 of them, circulating air when we're stuck in the camper for long times. So this next one, it was a big one for us and something that we had to do because we're living in it full time. And that is a washer and dryer. We have the stackable washer and dryer by Splendid, and we actually love them. We had a few issues in the beginning because the dealership that installed them didn't do it correctly, but overall, we would never have an RV without these because our experience is we live in it full time and we travel full time. Now I know, you're just gonna say, there's laundromats at every RV park. Yes, there are laundromats at every RV park. But the convenience of having these in the RV far outweigh the convenience of having the laundromats at the RV park. Yes, these are more expensive than a laundromat, and you would have to wash clothes at a laundromat for, I don't know, 2 years before you ever paid for these. Another big plus for having these in the RV is that you never wait until you have all your clothes dirty and have to spend all day at the laundromat washing 5, 6, 7, or 8 loads. It never catches up to you. We always stay on top of our laundry, and that's because we can do it at any time inside our RV. That's why we love these and would never have an RV without them, because that's our experience and the way we want to use our RV for our travels. The next thing we upgraded was our shower head. Now the stock shower heads that come in these RVs, they might be okay if you're at 60 PSI at a park, but what we have found is that hardly any parks have 60 PSI. The norm is about 40. Well, at 40 PSI, as Alicia would say, the stock shower head is a no-go for washing girls' hair. So we went with the Oxygenics shower head. And this thing does some sort of venting or diverting of the nozzles in the head right here that makes 40 PSI seem like a lot better flow than normally it would be. Now, when you match this shower head in a park with good pressure, or you're running your onboard pump to get 60 psi, this thing right here is a dream. This shower head, coupled with our bed from rvmattress.com, make living in this RV living in a home. These two things right here are the big things that sold us on if we can enjoy this lifestyle, because this shower head and our mattress are truly as good as any mattress or shower we've ever had in all the houses we've owned. So if you're going to spend some time in your RV, we suggest you upgrade your shower head so that you can have a quality shower experience. So the next thing we upgraded was not really to do with RVing, but normal everyday life stuff, is our internet. If you're going to spend time on the road and living full-time in an RV, you're going to need internet. The RV parks have internet, but they're not always the greatest, nor do they allow enough bandwidth to actually do anything other than check your emails. So we went with Nomad Internet. I know what you're saying. You read anything online about Nomad Internet and everyone has bad reviews on them. We've actually had it for 2 years, and we run our YouTube channel off of it and never had a problem. Now, I know the big fad right now is everybody's going to Starlink, and that's cool, but we've also heard that Starlink only works when you're in places like this, with nothing above you. So if you're in the city or just on the outskirts of the city, or if you're in a wooded area, Starlink may not be the best choice, but it's getting better. And I've always told Alicia that if we ever have a problem with our Nomad, like all the people say they have problems with, we would consider going to Starlink. But so far, we've had Nomad for 2 years. We run a YouTube channel off of it, and now a website, which you guys should go check out, pavingnewpaths.com. And we've had no issues of all of it. We also stream about 4 or 5 TVs and devices at a time inside of here when we're stuck in the RV. The good thing about Nomad is it's a hotspot that I can just grab and throw in the truck. So when we're driving around on our adventures, we actually have internet in the truck. So we can pull the computer out and do some research. We can have the kids watching our iPads. We can have internet to use our phones to find out where we need to go, what we need to do. Starlink, you can't just throw in the back of your truck and drive around and expect it to work. So that's why we like Nomad. A lot of you guys out there are gonna say, I can't believe you're using Nomad, but we've had no problems with it, and we actually like it. And until it messes up on us, or we have a experience like some of the reviews say, we're gonna stick with Nomad. But it doesn't matter who you go with. If you're gonna live and travel full-time in an RV, you need to have an alternative solution for internet other than the RV parks, because you need to have your own internet to do your own thing so that your life is as convenient as it was when you lived in a house. So those are all the major upgrades we did. Now the rest of these are all accessories and things you consider buying to make sure that you're never caught in a situation that's not going to be very fun. And what I'm talking about is things that will enhance your experience when you're at parks or out there RVing, but you may not use them every day, but when you need them, you really need them. The first one, sewer tubes. I know what you're thinking, why do I need a sewer tube? Well, you don't want to take your sewer tube and put it inside your RV. Instead, you should get one of these guys right here. All right, so these are the Volterra sewer tubes, and they're actually mounted on the frame at the rear of our RV. And what's cool about them is you order them and they are expandable. So they'll expand to fit any frame length. So you just expand it until it lines up your frame rails, and you install some nuts and bolts and you attach them. And now your sewer tubes do not have to travel inside your RV. I also add these carabiners right here with these little cables to make sure that the door never opens while I'm driving and my stinky slinky comes out and drags down the road. The reason I'm telling you this is you need to make sure that you have one sewer hose for your RV as well as a backup. Since we have 2 connections, I have one for the front, one for the back, and a spare. And what you'll find is you always want to make sure you have a spare, because if you have to buy it in the pinch or at the RV park, it's going to cost you way more money. You never know where the connections are going to be. That's a big one, because sometimes we've had to use all 3 in combination with adapters in order to make the sewer hookups work correctly. For sure, have yourself one sewer tube and one backup, because you may never know when you're going to be at a situation where you might have to use both of them just to dump. You also need to make sure you have spare adapters. And what I mean by that is you need to make sure you have at least one 90 so they can hook up, and a spare 90. You should also make sure that if you have 2 like us, that you have a way to combine them, either a Y or a T. You need to make sure you have the donut that has the 3 different sizes, because right now we have the 3-inch, but we've seen 2.5 and 2-inch, and that adapter will fit to all 3. But make sure you have at least 2, because you'll notice over time, if you travel a lot, the threads become messed up and eventually it's not going to connect. If it doesn't connect, you're going to have problems draining. So these are our spare sewer connections, or our accessories. So we have a Y, so we can join 2 into 1. We also have a T, so we can do the same thing, but usually this sits on top of the drain, and so both come in from the sides. You can do this with two. This is actually if you want to have one hose coming in, one hose coming in, and then one hose going to the drain. So this would be in the middle. This is at the end. We have a spare one of these. This goes on the end for your 9 degrees that go down into the drain. We have several of these because these are the plastic threads I was telling you about that can become messed up. And so we always carry a spare. And then we have plenty of caps for our hoses and for the dump valves. Get whatever you need to make sure that you can always accommodate whatever hookup situation you have. Another thing we upgraded for our sewer system, our sewer stuff, is this Volterra waste-free gate valve that goes in the end of your sewer tube. Normally there'd just be a cap right there, but we all know when you travel there's some seepage, so when you take this cap off to put your sewer tube on, some stuff comes out. Well, this gate valve right here on the end is one more layer of protection so that whenever you go to put your sewer tube on, you don't find out what's inside your tanks. So the next thing, electrical connections. So right now, we have this guy right here. And we found that before we were running this guy right here straight into there, but he was coming off at an angle. And you can see he still has a curve in there from all the years of him being stuck at an angle. This right here is a good upgrade because it takes the stress off your cable. And these guys right here are expensive. Now another thing to consider if you're going to travel all the time is you need two of those. So right now we have a 50 footer, this guy right here, and that usually means no matter where we are and where that pedestal is, as long as it's around the end of the trailer, which we've seen some to go way further back to by that picnic table, as long as they're around the trailer, this one cord will work. The reason you have two is because there's times when one cord will not get there and you'd have a second cord in line almost as an extension. We recently had this in a video where we were 75 foot away because we had to use the pedestal that was over there at the next campground because ours was messed up. Well, without that second cord, we'd have been dead in the water until they fixed the pedestal. Another reason to have a spare cord is because if something were to happen to this guy right here, you don't want to have to go find a spare cord or have to go somewhere and spend the money they have because they have it. So we find having two electrical cords will save you from any situation you might have. Another important thing, your adapters. You never know what kind of power you're going to have at these campgrounds. They may say 50 and 50 may be bad. They may say 30, 30 may be bad, 15, whatever. We suggest you get all the appropriate adapters. Our RV is a 50 amp RV. We can actually run on 30 amps or 15 amps, but we need the adapters. So this is one of our adapters. This is our 50 amp to 30 amp. We also have a 50 amp to 15. This actually screws into the camper, so I'm not going to run an extension cord and on my big power cord over to the pedestal. And then I have this one right here. This is a 30 to a 15. And that is just in case I need to go ahead and double up because of the situation I'm in. Never had to do it, but I have it just in case. Doesn't matter what combination of connections we have, we can use our cords and our adapters to make sure we get some power into the RV. And we suggest if you're going to travel full time to make sure you always have the adapters and the cords needed for any combination you may run into. So that is the list of all the things that we did to our RV. Now all these things either made our life easier, safer, or more comfortable, but they usually always fulfilled a need that we were looking to fill. All right, you guys, let me know in the comments down below, what did you do to your RV to enhance your experience? For all you guys that got our merchandise, we would love if you would tag us in our social media on Facebook or Instagram of you wearing the merchandise while you're out there paving your own path. Love you guys. Thanks for hanging out. See you next time.